Привет! Today we'll continue talking about self-introduction. And this time you'll find out how to ask and to answer the questions: where are you from? What city or state are you from? And where do you live? Let's start with the first one. If you've been following this course lesson by lesson, you should already know how to say "where are you from" in Russian. Remember that in Russian there are three different words to ask: where at, location-wise, where to, direction-wise, and where from. What are they? Где, куда, откуда. So, how do you say "where are you from"? Right, откуда ты or откуда вы. When you ask someone "where are you from" in English, people would usually answer "I'm Australian, I'm British, I'm American," and so on. But in Russian, it's not that common to answer this way. It's much more common to just say "I'm from" and then the country where you come from. First of all, in Russian it sounds a little weird. It sounds as if you're emphasizing your ethnicity or your patriotic feel. And secondly, it takes more time to learn nationalities in Russian. And they would sound different depending on a person's gender. While to say, for example, "I am from France," you just have to learn how to say "from," which is in Russian, and then the name of your country in Russian. In our example, it's Франция. Let's compare. First, let's say he is French, she is French, they are French, for instance. Он француз. Она француженка. Они французы. So here you have three different words for saying French in Russian. Now let's say he is from France, she is from France, they are from France. For that, you'll just need to remember the following pattern. Кто, who, which is я, ты, он, and so on. Is, which is from, and then the name of your country in Russian. In our case, it's Франция. You may just remember this, and you can be sure that anyone will understand you in Russian. The names of a lot of countries in Russian would end with я, и я. Россия, Франция, Испания, Италия, Германия, Великобритания. This name comes from two words put together in one. Великая Британия, Great Britain. Here is a list of popular countries in Russian with such an ending. By the way, a country in Russian sounds as страна, and countries is страны. So again, to just be understood, you can say simply Я из Италия. Я из Турция. Я из Бразилия. And if you want to go further from here, you can take the following rule into account. If a country's name ends with я or a, they will change to и or y. Take a look. Я из Италии. Я из Турции. Я из Бразилии. Я из Украины. Я из Канады. Я из Америки. Я из Мексики. And if the name of your country ends with a consonant, Египет, Таиланд, Сингапур, Vietnam, Китай, Израиль, then you will add a or я at the end. Я из Египта. Я из Таиланда. Я из Сингапура. Я из Вьетнама. Я из Китая. Я из Израиля. And the names of some countries in Russian won't change. And a couple of them just need to be remembered. Я из США. Я из ОАЭ. Я из ЮАР. Я из Марокко. Я из Перу. Я из Чили. Я из Нидерландов. I hope it doesn't sound like too much. Have you noticed though that when you're saying «Я из Франция» or «Я из Франции», they sound pretty similar. That's why I'm saying that anyone will understand you, even if you forget and don't change a country's ending in Russian. And the same way you can say he is from France, she is from France, or they are from France, and so on. Он из Франции. Она из Франции. Анри и Николь из Франции. And so on. This part will stay the same. Now I'd like to ask you, откуда ты? Many learners come from America, so let's learn how to ask what state are you from. In Russian, it will sound as из какого ты штата? Or из какого вы штата? Штат means a state. Take a note that though we spell какого, we read this word as какого. More on this in one of the future videos. Again, you can just answer Я из Калифорния. Я из Нью-Йорк. And anyone will understand you. Or you can follow the same rule as with the countries and you can say Я из Калифорнии. Я из Нью-Йорка. Я из Флориды. And so on. I hope it makes sense. The next question to learn is, what city are you from? In Russian, it will sound as из какого ты города? Or из какого вы города? Город means a city or town in Russian. And again, you read this word as какого. With the cities, you'll follow the same rule as with countries or states. Я из Москвы. Я из Барселоны. Я из Киева. Я из Гонконга. Я из Лос-Анджелеса. Я из Копенгагена. Я из Мехико. Я из Майами. Today, many people come from one place and live and work in a totally different place. So let's also learn how to ask, where do you live? And how to say, I live in. And for that, we'll need the verb to live. In Russian, it sounds as жить. Let's go to this site and check its conjugation. Take a note, there is a letter added to its present forms. So how do you say, where do you live? Right. Где ты живешь? Or где вы живете? To answer this question, you'll say Я живу в, and then the name of your country, city or state. В means in. Again, you can just say «Я живу в Нью-Йорк» to be understood. Or you can go further and use the rule for this preposition. If the name of the place ends with «ия», it will again change to «и», just like before with the preposition «из». Я живу в России. Я живу в Италии. Я живу в Калифорнии. And almost all the rest of names will end with «е» in this phrase, except the names of countries that don't change in Russian, and a couple more that you just need to remember. Я живу в Москве. Я живу в Америке. Я живу в Канаде. Я живу в Киеве. Я живу в Чили. Я живу в Перу. Я живу в Токио. Я живу в Майами. Я живу в Нидерландах. Many students tend to enunciate the preposition «в». They would say something like «Я живу в Америке». Please remember that you do not need to do that. You need to always blend the preposition with the word that follows. It may even be barely noticeable. В Москве, в России, в Америке, в Украине. In Russian, you always write prepositions separately from the word that follows, but you read them as one word. Sometimes you can barely hear the preposition, and this is how it is supposed to be. Again, you just blend it into the word that follows. В Бразилии, в Мадриде, в Осло, в Марокко. And the same applies to the preposition «из» from the previous sentences. You'll say «из Америки», «из России», «из Москвы», «из Лос-Анджелеса» as one word. Please remember that because this is a very common mistake. And now a tricky question. Try to say in Russian «in France», «in Vietnam». It's hard, right? Франции, Vietnam. There are too many consonants in a row. Do you remember what we do in such cases in Russian? We add a vowel to a preposition for a better flow. So we will get во Франции, во Вьетнаме. Still remember to read these words as just one word. And remember that prepositions in Russian are never stressed. That's why a vowel «о» that we add is read as «а». Let's say, I'm from Norway, I live and work here. Я из Норвегии. Я здесь живу и работаю. I'm from Ukraine, I live and work there. Я из Украины. Я там живу и работаю. Здесь means here in Russian. Там means there. Здесь, там. Работать means to work. This verb has the same conjugation as the verb слушать, to listen. Compare them. Я из Бельгии, но сейчас я живу в России. I'm from Belgium, but I live in Russia now. Сейчас means now. Но means but. Я из Австрии, но сейчас я живу и работаю в России. I'm from Austria, but I live and work in Russia now. Would you like some practice? Откуда она? Откуда он? Из какого они города? Где он живет? Меня зовут Ольга. Можно просто Оля. Я из Беларуси, но сейчас я живу во Вьетнаме. Откуда ты? Из какого ты города? Где ты живешь? Let me know in the comment below. Скоро увидимся!